All right, let's just jump right in with one of the biggest questions imaginable. What was there before the beginning? Today, we're going to explore how some of the world's most ancient cultures tried to answer that. So let's dive into the incredible world of creation myths.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Before the stars, before the planets, before any of it, what was there? It's kind of a mind-bending question, right? It's the ultimate starting point, something that gets to the very core of our existence.
And you know what? For as long as we've been looking up at the sky, we have tried to fill in that blank. These creation myths, they are so much more than just old stories. They're humanity's first and maybe most profound attempts to make sense of the entire cosmos. What's so fascinating is that a lot of these stories start in a really similar place. And it's not with a big explosion or a flash of light. It's with a quiet, formless state. They tell a story of how something emerged from an apparent nothing. Now, the technical term for this is primordial chaos, but we have to be really careful with that word chaos. When we hear it, we think of, a messy room or a total disaster. That is not what this means. In these myths, chaos is a state of pure, untapped potential. It's not that there's an absence of things, it's that everything is there, all mixed together, just waiting to be defined. So what did this state of potential actually look like to them? Well, different cultures often imagined it in one of two really powerful ways, either as this infinite dark void or as a vast, endless cosmic ocean from which the world would eventually emerge. And you can see two amazing takes on this idea right here. On the left, you've got the Babylonians. They imagined creation starting when the salt water of the goddess Tiamat literally mixed with the fresh water of the god Apsu. But then on the right, you have the Maori people of New Zealand. They pictured the world emerging from something called te kore, a void, sure, but a void that they described as being pregnant with possibility. I love that. It's a nothingness that is not empty, but is just about to give birth to everything. Okay, so that's one way of looking at it. But that is not the only story out there. Another major tradition imagined the beginning completely differently, not as some vast nothingness, but as a single, self-contained point, the entire universe in miniature, just ready to burst forth. Just take the ancient Greek Orphic tradition. Here's how it goes. First, there's only darkness. Then, this shimmering, silver cosmic egg appears. When it finally cracks open, bam! Phanes, the god of light in creation itself, bursts out, and the universe begins. It's this incredibly dramatic, explosive start to all of reality. This egg idea is so interesting, especially when you compare it to a related concept, the cosmic seed, where the egg implies this sudden, maybe even violent hatching of reality all at once. The seed, which you find a lot in South Asian traditions, symbolizes something way different. It's a slower, more organic growth. The universe wasn't hatched, it just unfolded slowly and naturally from a single point, just like a plant. So we've got these incredible ideas, right? Creation from a formless void and creation from a single concentrated point. So what's the connection? What's the common thread that tells us why these stories were so incredibly important to the people who told them?
Well, the answer really boils down to this one crucial concept: differentiation. In almost every single one of these myths, the real act of creation isn't making something out of nothing. No, the big deal, the real magic, is the act of separating one thing from another to create order. It's about separating light from the darkness, pulling the sky away from the earth, or drawing a line between the land and the water.
And that's the whole point, really. No matter the details, whether it's an egg or an ocean, every one of these stories is about the birth of order. They are all, at their core, epic tales about how we get from a formless, meaningless state to a structured cosmos that we can actually understand and live in. And that's why these stories still matter so much. They aren't just about the universe, they're about us. They deal with our deepest anxieties about where we come from. They give us a cosmic map and basically say, you are here. And by doing that, they help create a worldview, a sense of order, and they connect us to something much, much larger than ourselves. And all of this leaves us with one last question to think about. Whether you look to science, to religion, or to philosophy, what is our culture's creation story today? And just like these ancient myths, what does our story of the beginning reveal about who we are and about what we truly value?